Allender reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And this is the Metal Hammer of Doom. Tonight's presentation brought to you without commercial interruption, because we have no sponsors, features the latest from European black metal specialist Cradle of Filth, Hammer of the Witches. And with me tonight, my co-host. She's currently smashing a Barbie doll into my arm. Here she is, the one and only Lily Radulich. How do you do, Lily? Great. Lily, this is who we're talking about tonight. I'm going to show you a picture of them. What do you think of these guys? They're great? I don't feel like you're very enthusiastic about this. You realize millions of people are listening to you right now, and they're hearing you being very blah. You gotta. Where's that Lily Radulich enthusiasm that you always have? All right. Well, she musters up the courage to talk. Ladies and gentlemen, the singing frog. Here's my actual co-host, a man who I do not have to put to bed. Here, unlike my daughter, who really should have gone to bed an hour ago. Mr. Robert Cooper, how do you do, sir?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Sorry, you said a singing frog, and I couldn't resist.
Well, she is the singing frog. I mean, around the house, she's singing, she's dancing, she's carrying on like a 4-year-old should. And then I put her on these podcasts, and like, Lily, what do you think? And she goes, maybe she'll talk to you. Robert, introduce yourself to my daughter.
Hey there, Lily. I've heard a lot about you. What's up?
She's currently hiding behind her Barbie doll.
To be fair, that is the usual reaction that children give me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the beard. Maybe it's the cats. Maybe it's my odd obsession. With dark music.
I was going to say that's the usual reaction you get when you talk to any girl. They start hiding behind things.
Well, yeah. I mean, usually they pick something a lot thicker than a Barbie doll, though. Like a bank vault, plate glass, cars, whatever. Anything to get out of my laser vision.
All right. I'd like to go to bed tonight. I got to go to work tomorrow, so let's get on with
somebody's an adult.
Let's get with the hooting and the hollering already. So the Cradle of Filth, Hammer of the Witches, the latest release from European black metalers from the United Kingdom, just came out within the last week or so. Cradle of Filth is a bit hit and miss for me. I've been a fan of theirs since they first started putting out albums. I've been listening to them for over a decade now. They're a great band. They don't always hit it out of the park. Some of the stuff's a little funeral dirgy. Some of it's a little slow, little muddy, a little boring. But other stuff, they knock it out of the park. I remember Nymphetamine was one of the ones where I was like, holy Christ, these guys really can rock when they want to. Hammer of the Witches definitely falls into that category. This is probably one of their more rockier, heavier albums that they've put out in the last couple of years, and it was quite the pleasant surprise. Cooper, why don't you give me some of your thoughts? Where do you stand on the filth? Hey, your pig is filthy. Clean it. Sorry, that's Ministry. But yeah, Cradle of Filth, go.
Yeah, they're not really a band that I have a wide knowledge base on. Actually, funny thing, in 7th grade, I had a cousin who was really into metal, and him. He was obsessed with him, and he loved stuff like Blood Runs Black, They Suck. Just like, he was in a lot of like deathcore and a little bit of black metal and death metal and stuff. And he tried to show me Cradle of Filth once, and I was like, ugh. Because, mind you, my favorite band at the time was Switchfoot. So, my favorite band was Switchfoot until, like, 9th grade. Because they had some good music. I liked some Switchfoot. They got some good stuff. But, yeah, I didn't get them, because remember...
Hang on, I gotta interrupt you here. Lily, what's your favorite music? What do you like to listen to? Ariel from The Little Mermaid. You like to hear her sing? What does she sing? Okay. I don't know if anyone even heard that, but apparently she sings.
She sounded like a really sad trombone, just
A bit more. Can you share a little bit more of what Ariel sings? Sing it loud. Sing it. I feel like you're just fighting at this point. All right.
I feel like Ariel just got dragged into a dungeon. It was really far away.
What do you like? What do you prefer, Ariel or Melody? Melody. Do you know who Melody is, Cooper?
And that from the sequel.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Normally when I ask questions about children's programming, I get anger as my response.
To be fair, that's children's programming that was fairly new when I was still a kid.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, that was like 2000.
I keep forgetting you're not much older than my daughter.
Oh, you hush. Then again, I'm trying to think. Now, actually, the age difference between me and your daughter is about the same as me and you. Feel old yet?
Some sad shit right there. All right.
Yeah.
Nobody came into this podcast to listen to my daughter saying, or me ask her questions that she then whispers the answers to. So let's get to...
We've lost 5 of our 10 listeners.
That's all right. This show is like one of those boxes of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get with us. You never know if I'm going to fall asleep or if we're going to start breaking into covers. You never know what's going to happen on the Metal Hammer of Doom.
You really don't. But yeah, to finish that story, I listen to Switchfoot all the time, so I really wasn't into black metal, especially Cradle of Filth, who are they're black metal, so yeah. I was kind of done with them at that point, and I revisited them every once in a while, and I really wasn't that impressed. I guess maybe I found some of the songs that were shitty or really boring albums. So I think I listened to a song off, was it Grom, maybe like that? No, that's Doom and Bourgier. Now, I listened to some of the early stuff, and I was like, okay, I can definitely see why these guys were pretty popular. But, yeah, I never really got into them. So when you were like, Cradle of Filth, I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and see what all the hoopla is about.
And now you know. Like I said, when Cradle of Filth puts out a good album, it's amazing. When they put out a bad album, it's the kind of thing, you just want to slit your wrist to. And so that pretty much sums up Cradle of Filth to me. What we're going to do here is we're going to play the first 2 tracks back to back. The first one's an intro, and then it goes into the first real track of the album, Hammer of the Witches. So we're going to play the whole first intro, and then we'll play a little bit like we normally do of the second track, and then we'll break in with some of our thoughts. So here we go. This is War Prologis Eve into Yours Immortally. So as proof that my child can fall asleep during any circumstances, there I am blaring black metal in the house. She's sitting right next to me and is just about passed out.
Well, to be fair, I think your child's going places, and, well, I did the same thing. My dad used to chew me out. He looked at me straight in the eyes one night and said, "Your music is garbage." I think that's the only time I got really, like, that's one of the few ways to make me really mad, is I just go, "Your music's garbage," because he hated all metal. Like, the only thing he ever, like, he's like, "Oh, I like Metallica and Iron Maiden." I'm like, "You like the songs that play on the radio?" It's like, "Yeah." I'm like, that doesn't
My
count.
father said to me when I was just a lad, "I don't care what you listen to as long as I don't have to hear it." So I had a lot of Walkmans growing up. But I was also allowed to buy anything that had when they started putting tipper stickers on things. I was allowed to buy anything with a tipper sticker as long as I kept it on the Walkman, which meant that in elementary school I still owned a copy of Two Live Crews, As Nasty as They Want to Be. Suffice it to say, though, anytime my father listened to anything I was listening to, whether it was rap or metal, he thought it was all shit. And I think I've told you this, to this day, he still has the funniest reaction to Judas Priest I've ever heard. "Why are you listening to this? It sounds like he's yelling at you."
Well, that's funny.
So with that said, what did you think of the first, well, we don't need to talk about the intro. There's nothing much to say about it. What did you think of that first track?
Well, starting with the intro, I thought the intro did a really nice job of setting the mood and the setting to the song. I think the intro and the outro, which outro doesn't do much considering I threw in the 2 bonus tracks at the end, so it's kind of like, oh, it's like that time at Lord of the Rings, and you thought the movie ended, and it ended, and then you're like, oh, shit, there's more. But anyways, I like the first track. It does a good job of really blending into the second one. Now, one cool thing that I did in the listening, you know what I usually do. I read lyrics and try to analyze things. And one thing I found was that they kept naming random gods and things from, like they brought up Loki and Chernobog. You remember Chernobog, right? Of course you remember
Yes.
Chernobog. From the Night on Bald Mountain. And actually what the...
real quick aside, Mike, one of my daughter's favorite Disney movies is Fantasia, which she refers to as Mickey Mops.
And actually the Walpurgis Eve, because I was curious, Walpurgis Eve is actually a festival in Germany on, I think it's April 30th. It's the pretty much the night in Germanic folklore. They think that's the night the witches meet up on the highest peak of the Harz Mountains and have like a, coven. And I think the second song here, Yours Immortally, was it's kind of about like the coming of the witches and everything, which funny thing, it was called Hammer of the Witches. It's about like all the evil gods coming together with the witches, and it's really cool. This definitely deserves a second listen. Like I have this album streaming on in the background right now. It's really good. This song, this is the second song of this album. It's not what I expected, because what I've heard of Cradle of Filth was really doomy. But I don't want to say doomy in like that I like it, like doomy in the boring way. Like it doesn't have a point. It just kind of meanders and claims that it's epic.
There is some Cradle of Filth that absolutely just drones on, like, oh Jesus, it's just weep, grana, weep, nitty Bobby. You're like, oh, just shoot me.
Dang it, Bobby. Yeah, like propane accessories.
Yeah.
I wish Danny Filth would start quoting King of the Hill in the middle of his songs. That would make my day.
All right, you ready to move on to the next track? Or do you have a little bit more on this one?
No, I that was like my little nugget of information, but it's a good song.
It was a good nugget.
Yeah.
All right.
It's actually, go ahead.
This is track 3. This is Enshrined in Crematoria. they slowed it down from the first track. They'll pick it up again later on in the album, but this track a little bit closer to what I'm used to with Cradle of Filth. Not that it was bad, just this one was more marchy than it was thrashy.
Yeah, I didn't quite have that much of a problem with the song. Maybe it's because songs like this are more a exception than a rule to this album, so it almost does a nice job of kind of breaking things up and giving the album certain highlights of the thrashier, faster stuff than you would hear. I thought this was a really interesting song. Reading all the lyrics and stuff here, I'm pretty sure the speaker is, of course, Satan. I have a feeling that's half of Cradle of Filth songs. Yeah, I'm Satan. Just gonna let you know. And it seems like half of them are sad love songs, too, which is weird. Because black metal doesn't usually do love songs. Well, they do some love songs, but they're more macabre. And so does death metal.
They use loving on a dead body.
Yeah, or Dirty Gore Horror by Autopsy. That's death metal there. It's such great lyrics as rape you, kill you. Nice,
so the
nice Cannibal Corpse people.
So the Metal Hammer of Doom podcast is not just a music review podcast. We also bring you the latest in cultural news, things you need to know. So this just in from the TampaBay.com website. School district. Tampa teacher duct tapes kindergartner's eyes. An elementary music teacher could lose her job next week because of an allegation that she punished a kindergarten student by putting duct tape over his eyes.
That is really stupid and asking for a lawsuit.
Hey, Melissa.
And not very good. And not very good teaching.
Come here.
Damn, it's a family affair tonight. Yeah. Hurry up, woman. Yeah.
Yes. While listening to black metal. Now listen.
African American metal.
Now I brought my wife out here to account for this.
Oh God.
Tampa teacher taped a kindergartner's eyes. Have you heard this?
No, and that's not what you're supposed to do.
An elementary music teacher could lose her job next week because of an allegation that she punished a kindergartner by putting duct tape over his eyes. What do you have to say for yourself?
It's not me.
No. You're a Tampa Bay teacher.
So I'm automatically lumped in with this?
Yes, you have to.
Does it say where the school is and what school it is?
You have to account for this.
No, I don't.
I would like an explanation.
She's an idiot, and it's probably a person who doesn't know what they're doing, or a person who's so burnt out on their job.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm doing jack shit about it. It's not my job to fix people.
She's going to go sit down and be here much something with the stars.
Typical Tampa teacher.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wait. And she's a music Oh, God. How does it get better?
Has worked at the school district since 2011 and teaches music at Potter Elementary, an F-rated school in Tampa.
Here's what I will tell you. The kid probably deserved it.
Oh, you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? That's a tenured teacher right there.
I know that school, and knowing that population in that school, I'm sure the kid was a shithead. Now, it doesn't justify what the teacher did, but I'm sure that kid was a shithead.
Okay. So now that my wife has come along and approved of duct taping that kid's eyes shut.
I don't approve of it. It's dumb and not what you should do.
I don't think anyone can listen. We can hear you now. All right.
She doesn't approve of it. She doesn't approve of it on the record.
Yeah, right. This next song, track 4, deflowering the maidenhead, displeasuring the goddess, is clearly about oral sex. Here we go. So was I right? Was that song about oral sex?
I'm not quite sure about oral sex, but it's definitely about seems like rape a demon, or the speaker is describing in third person as the demon raping an angel in a fucking graveyard. What it sounds like to me. I'm laughing at that.
Let me get this straight. This is about a demon raping an angel in a graveyard.
Something like that. It keeps mentioning like necrotic fingers. So
someone call Michael Bay. We have a new script idea.
He is. I mean, this is the same band that has the best T-shirt ever that can get you kicked out of places. I'm sure you've heard about that T-shirt, right? The Cradle of Filth shirt that on the back said Jesus is a cunt.
Yeah, but that's not even the worst one. There's ones of that's actually like showing a picture of a golem or a demon of some sort having doggy-style sex with a nun.
See, my favorite one is still from Marduk. I think it was, no, when nuns have no fun, but it was pretty much it's a nun with her hood still on, just masturbating with a cross. I was like, oh, yep, there we go. I was like, that's a fun one.
That's not the kind of shirt you really want to be wearing in public, especially as you get close to the Bible Belt. You'll probably offend somebody.
Close to the Bible Belt. Jesus, I am the Bible Belt at this damn point.
You know, south of the Macy-Dixie line, I would not be wearing a shirt that says Jesus is a cunt. I'm just saying.
I get my ass whipped in a Taco Bell. I mean, I didn't even buy that Iron Reagan shirt that says your kid's an asshole just because I knew one day I'll be a teacher. And knowing my luck, I'll be on my day off walking around fucking Walmart in my Iron Reagan shirt, and some parent will recognize me and get me fired.
Well, just don't take the kid's eyes shut. You'll be all right.
Well, actually, the kid's eyes there is no eyes on the kid because it's a giant blood stain where it used to be. Yeah. I still don't understand, like, that teacher. I mean, she's the fucking music teacher. Your class isn't that important at that point in a child's life. Jesus Christ, the Latter-day Saints. I mean, sure. I mean, she's probably like checked out and done, and you know, it's like, fuck it, I'm going out with style. I'm gonna make the news, damn it. But it's just really dumb.
To the room, so I can't ask her any more questions. But apparently, this is a terrible school. I mean, it's as the thing said, it's an F-rated school. F is not good.
Does the F stand for fucked?
Okay, apparently one of the schools the district is like trying to take over because they're in such bad shape.
So it sounds like they need to hire people in charge that know what the fuck they're doing.
So in other news, one of the teachers in Polk County who had sex with their students actually just came into the Hillsborough County Jail. And it was really funny because, like, I was trying not to be awkward about it, but, like, I checked her in. Like, I work in a hotel. I booked her in. And, you know, she's a very nice lady and all that. But, like, when she comes in, she tells her name, and I'm just like, and I'm kind of going through questions, like, oh, yeah, I remember you. And she's just, and it's like, oh, damn it, he knows me because I fucked a student.
Well, hey, so you saying you got a brush with fame there?
Oh, please. We've had so many teachers sleep with students in the state. You know, it's becoming commonplace. I ask my wife all the time, "Do you have sex with a student today?" No, I guess you had a good day.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, the only thing that's in your state are tourists, old people, and death metal musicians. And teachers don't seem to go for any of those people. So, I mean, I guess you got to swing young. Grass on the field, play ball.
With that said, track 5, Blackest Magic in Practice. you tell the folks what this is about and what your thoughts on it. I'm going to try to see if I can get my 4-year-old to go into her room since she's passed out on the couch.
Oh, that is adorable. Anyway,
hey,
so...
Hey, you.
What? Oh, that's not me. Okay, sorry. Yeah, this song here, you know, I said like some of their songs sound like a love song. Okay, yeah, this one is like straight up a love song. I think it's about a guy whose girlfriend/wife something died, and he's going to use the blackest magic possible to bring her back from the grave. That is fucking metal. That is like the most metal fucking thing. Yeah, I hear you, kid. This kid thinks this is fucking metal too. Yeah.
No, don't go this way. Go around the table. Make sure you pee first. Good night.
I'll try. God, how many times do they fucking say rape in this album? Nobody likes hearing that word.
About as many times as Robot Chicken does in the season.
Okay. That robot. You know, the one that humps everything.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining this band as that robot. Like all the other bands on the tour, like, oh, here comes Danny Filth. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And he just starts humping a pinball machine. Did you hear about did you hear about with Danny Filth, his new makeup? It looks strangely like I think the singer guitarist from Kara Shangram. That's a black metal band, by the way. And they actually commented on it. They're like, so they're saying that Danny Filth take this from us? Well, we're not saying that. We're just saying we don't wear fucking purple nail polish while taking the picture. Because it looked really like it. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but it looked a lot like the other guys. But yeah, he had purple nail polish. So it's one of those like, yeah, you're not metal.
Hey,
unless you are that metal.
I got a question for you. You're into Japanese stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I get you to review a game show for me and put it on this Radulich and Broadcasting Network? Let me read you this article from cinemablend.com, and then you're in charge of tracking this shit down and reviewing it for me, okay? Because I will talk about it.
Okay.
Headline. New Japanese game show lets bears attack people inside a box. Okay,
let's Google this. New. See, I actually watched a clip from a game show that was Jushin Liger trying to pin other New Japan wrestlers in their sleep after a night of partying. It's great. It's 4 of them. Hiroshi Tanahashi kicked out at 1. And one of the guys, Tomoaki Hanma, he was already awake. And he's like, whoa, what the fuck? And then Liger pinned him 1, 2, 3. I thought it was amazing. They'd just be asleep and they creep in there. Liger gets on top of him and it goes 1, 2. And usually by 2, they're like, oh.
All right. So let me read this to you. Japanese game shows are legendary for their ridiculousness. You might want to hear this. The latest video from one of these shows to hit the internet features a woman videotaping while inside a glass box. Normally that would be odd, but not concerning. However, the terrified woman is also getting shoved around in the glass box by a very large grizzly bear.
Jeez. Okay, yeah, I see this. Okay, it's only 44 seconds. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, she's like, oh, fuck, bear in the box, and the bear just tips over the box. And the lady is screaming in pure fucking terror as that bear's like, I got your picnic basket, bitch. I am getting your fucking picnic basket. And there the fucking bear tipped her again. She's just fucking freaking. She's done. That, like, the fucking bear, he's like, you promised me dinner.
I would totally let a bear pat me around in a box if they paid me enough.
I think I'd be good. I mean, really, the bear just kind of keeps doing the same routine over again. He's just trying to keep tipping the box. I mean, as long as that box is made of something sturdy, it's totally good. Now, the other problem is when you you know, when the box gives way and you end up being on the sadder part of the news.
Okay, so
Local game choking.
Have you been watching Tough It Off at all this season?
Fuck no. That looks horrible. I've been told the one guy that was like a big wrestling fan and wanted to be a wrestler and everything got eliminated. And actually, like, well, no, I was told actually, like, they cut him, like the producers, like, they cut footage. They cut him to look like a total asshole because apparently he was like really nice and helped everybody with like learning the craft and the history, and like the other contestants absolutely loved the guy. That's what I read though. Like other members of the cast were pissed that he was kicked off because he deserved it.
Well, funny. I said the same thing to Winfrey. It was something different. He reacted the exact same way. But I digress. The reason why I brought it up is there was an episode of Tough Enough this season where they had to run through a swamp, and they're like, in this swamp are alligators and eels and and all this other stuff. And I'm looking at my wife and going, this is horse shit. There's no way they made them run through a swamp with that kind of stuff in it. They fenced that part off. They cleared that part of it out and only left in there like harmless fish or whatever. There's no way they're in there swimming with alligators. Get the fuck out of here. So with that being said, I don't think that the box is going to give way. I think that they made the box strong enough to resist a bear attack, because if the box actually gave way and you got mauled by a bear, the people who came up with this game would be sued. So I think it's like they're trying to simulate danger, but they can't possibly be putting people in real danger. So with that being said, track 6, The Monstrous Sabbath, Summoning the Coven, or the Bear. And it just goes on like that for almost a minute. I'm just gonna stop right there and go on to the next track because that was more of an interlude. This is the title track, track 7, Hammer of the Witches. Okay, so that one picks up a bit. Good choice for the title track. What are some of your thoughts here?
It's another song about witches. I don't know if you could tell from the title of the track. I'm surprised. But it seems to be a story of a witch and her sisters getting killed and mutilated by the Inquisitors. At least that's kind of what it sounds like to me. Maybe I need to sit down with my pen and paper and brutally analyze these lyrics. But otherwise, I thought it was a really good song. I think this, if I'm not mistaken, this song had, actually, what I was surprised at this album, some really good guitar solos. This album had some really nice ones, some real, I'm not going to say quite memorable, not any ones I'm going to be whistling in my sleep, but, it did a nice job of kind of breaking up some of the monotony of the music, because, sometimes things get a little monotonous. I was really surprised. I kind of assumed that Cradle of Filth didn't do solos. I was wrong.
Yeah, I don't know why you would assume that.
I don't know, because I've heard like 3 Cradle of Filth songs in my life, and I didn't remember any of them having solos.
All right, fair enough. Anything more about this?
No, I thought it was a pretty solid song. I think the interlude set it up really well. These interludes are doing a really good job of kind of breaking up the song and building them up to being a kind of an epic story of sorts. It just doesn't go straight into the song. It kind of gives you breathing room in between to kind of cleanse your palate. I like that.
Okay, let's move on to the next track. This is Right Wing of the Garden Triptych. So these are about the garden triptychs that don't believe in abortion.
That's right. Queering doesn't work. God,
you're welcome.
Yeah. Like I suggested, he's like, damn Republican triptych. I was like, I was gonna make that joke.
I saw that. I figured I'd throw you a bone.
Yeah, thank you. So it wouldn't be.
I wasn't thinking it either. I just was sort of brain.
So I'm not quite sure what this song's about. I did kind of look up things in it, like "Got Your Down Wrong," which is apparently a German. It's a translation of the German translation of the Norse phrase Ragnarok, which is weird because that's a lot longer than the word Ragnarok. But I don't speak German, so what should I know? But yeah, I thought it was still a pretty good song. It's got a nice little beat to it, you know. It's another great song on this album. I think that's definitely what matters. And I did not know the Cradle of Filth had so many words in their songs.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on here. This next one is about the movie Twilight. It's called The Vampire at My Side.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your thoughts, sir.
Well, I expected to be a male vampire just because you kept saying Twilight. I'm a little disappointed now. No, actually, this seemed to be kind of describing a not so nice vampire. Damn cat. Sorry.
This isn't one of the nice vampires. What kind of vampire is it?
It seems to be a very violent, controlling vampire. So it's very much like Edward. So, God, I'm loving some of this verbiage here. Gilded cunt worship. A war of hormones swarming south as insect hive in her succulent skull, making a beeline for the honey mouth. Nice.
Well, not for nothing, but Gilded Cunt is one of the best Cradle of Filth songs I've ever heard.
Is that an actual song?
That is an actual song, yes.
That
Gilded Cunt.
Music. That's amazing. Baiting masturbators with a dominant handshake. Nice.
You know, like you do.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just not the dominant hand, that's what we call a stranger, right?
Ha
I had a coworker of mine reference that, and then I'm like, and I kept going on. He's like, damn. I'm like, yep, Tim, don't you forget me and there's a reason me and you work so well together. It's because you have really filthy stories and I have a really filthy mouth. Because everybody else is like, ugh. So it's funny, at work I actually, I've surprised coworkers because I have, like I said, a filthy mouth. I say cunt every once in a while when I get really mad. But then I also have really good manners.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, excuse me, bless you, pardon me, sir.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those words that gets people all upset. But these guys are British, so it's okay. So this is the most ironic song Cradle of Filth has ever written. This was called Onward Christian Soldiers. Another good song. Yeah, like I said, I haven't had too many complaints about this tonight. Definitely. This definitely fits in with other Cradle of Filth albums in their catalog. I think that's why I'm sort of leaning on you for some of the lyrical content because, like I said, it was a heavier album than what I'm used to. But in a lot of ways, it's exactly what I'm used to from Cradle of Filth, and it's good, but it's like, okay, I don't have a lot more to say beyond that.
Yeah. I'm just judging from, I haven't really had much of an experience with Cradle of Filth. A lot of this is kind of new to me. To a degree, it's very new. But I found this to be, as you said, really weird. I mean, it wasn't like overly glorifying Christianity. It was more telling like a story of the soldiers. But I mean, it also had to kind of slide a few little lands of rape and stuff like that. You know, gotta say rape a few more times. I wonder if they get like an extra 5,000 or something if they can like win a bet with their producer. Like, bet you can't say rape 10 times. They're like 10. We'll do 20 for 75. All right. Hope I can
They
get
are.
that cool one.
I was going to say, Cradle of Filth, they certainly have a certain theme they like to stick to.
Oh, hey, you know what? When you've lasted this long, sometimes you got to stick to your guns, which is how some bands make bread and butter.
It ain't broke.
If it ain't broke, it ain't from the 1800s.
All right. Track 11
I think
here.
that's 18.
We have, we're down to our last three songs here. And I haven't fallen asleep yet. Knock on wood.
Well, if you fall asleep, even though we've started 30 minutes earlier, I'm going to be sad about you, Mark Radulich. How are you going to make it through that NXT show next week?
Well, that's the thing. I went to work today, but not at my normal time. Like today was overtime. Trying to make up for some hours that I either didn't work or am planning not to work over the next 2 days. I'm leaving work early to go see. I'm leaving work early tomorrow night to go see Pixels at the drive-in. And I'm leaving work early Saturday to go see Slipknot and Lamb of God, which I will have a full report in 2 weeks when we come back and what are we reviewing in 2 weeks? I'm not really ready for plugs yet, but since I started that sentence, I now am compelled to finish it. All right, where are we? So next week I'm going to NXT, and then we'll be back August 6th for Lamb of God. And while I have you here, you know what August 20th is, right? I had to kick Fear Factory off the schedule because I forgot that the week of August 20th, we're going to be on August 20th itself, we are going to be reviewing another old album, like we did with Metallica and some others, with Type O Negative retrospective and all that, and Body Count. However, this one's very special. I don't remember if I told you about this or not, but since it's NWA week on the Radulich Broadcasting Network, guess what we're going to be reviewing? Metal Hammer of Doom.
Not metal.
Not metal. That's right. The original NWA Straight Outta Compton album.
All right. That'll be interesting.
I forget, somebody else wanted to be on for that. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Teasley. It might have been somebody else. I honestly don't remember. I'm sure someone will remind me when it gets closer to August 20th. In the meantime,
I'll be honest. I mean, hey, I'm just stoked for next week. Oh, can't wait.
All right. Tell us a little bit about next week in just a moment. This is track 11, Blooding the Hounds of Hell. All right, let's just move right into the next track here, and then we'll kibitz for a bit. This is track 12. This is King of the Woods. Into the Woods, go.
Had nothing to do with the movie.
No, huh?
Nah, King of the Woods. Yeah, I thought it was a good song. Honestly, I think we kind of did it a little weird because the Blooding the Hounds of Hell, which that is a weird, I don't get what that means. What does that even mean? But that was the outro to the album, actually. Of course, we played the deluxe edition because I Have the Power. Reaches, power, Castle Grayskull and everything. I thought
excessive force, industrial contractor, industrial shit. We got the power.
Industrial shit.
Power to push, baby, push. So
yeah, but.
So when I take Jonas to Gymboree, one of the things that he does in his class is the airlog push, where all the babies kind of get behind the airlog and they push it across the mat and they push it back. And then the instructor sings, "We got the power to push, baby, push."
That's suggestive.
It's very cute, and it's encourages the kids to walk and everything. At this point, my kids are encouraged to walk. Okay.
Just like my parents said, I think my dad said they were afraid that I wouldn't talk, and he's like, then once you started talking, we kind of regretted it.
It's funny. My father said the same thing. He was like, we were very happy that you finally did talk because we could actually understand what the hell you were saying.
That's pretty good. Yeah, but Blooding the Hounds of Hell, that's a really cool song. I thought it was a nice way to end the album on a really kind of moody, atmospheric sort of way, kind of like the way we entered. I like it when an album can have those sort of interludes and preludes and epilogues. It feels like the album is structured in a way, and it gives songs the time to breathe. I feel like, some of my favorite albums do that, like Nightfall by Candlemass. A lot of really good space saved there. It helps break up the album, which some albums really need that. Like Nostradamus by Judas Priest, a double disc album, and I can't tell the difference between any of the songs. But yeah, the bonus track here, King of the Woods, I think it's a fine track. It's really nice. Some songs you can tell why they were on the bonus edition. And then there's other songs you're like, why didn't they include this on the regular edition? You ever had a song like that?
Oh, no, absolutely. I find that a lot with covers, actually, where, you get the deluxe edition and it's, so-and-so covering whatchamacallit. And it's like, why didn't you just put this on the regular album? This cover is awesome.
Yeah, but, I can understand not putting it on there, especially if you'd have to take out an original song for it. But, some covers, I love it when it covers at the end of an album, even though sometimes it kind of breaks up the flow of a concept album. But I love a random cover. You have got me to love covers. Even though my lady friend Savannah actually found some covers that break your theory of there's no such thing as a bad cover. Korn covering Pink Floyd, and Korn covering Metallica.
Sure. Have you ever heard Avril Lavigne? Have you ever heard Avril Lavigne cover Metallica?
Yes. Did you ever hear Snoop Dogg cover Metallica?
All right, you got me on that one.
It's from the same show, and the top comment on it is one I'll never forget, even though it makes me cringe. It said, if slavery were around, this wouldn't happen. And I went, ooh. Because it was bad. I think it was sad, but I think he covered Sad But True. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sad But True, this is our last track. This is Misery Lou. No, this is Misery Chord. take me home, Mr. Cooper.
Yeah. See, funny thing, I was listening to that, but I forgot that I was playing the album, the album in the background. So I kind of go back to look at my computer, and Spirit Crusher by Death is playing. So I'm like, ooh, one of my favorite songs of all time. And this Cradle of Filth song. Let's see which one I can pay more attention to.
Right. So overall,
ooh.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's a good song. It's another one that I think it went well on the album. Both these bonus tracks actually work really well as kind of companions to this album. They would totally work if they had put them on there. I like it. This album as a whole, actually, like I said, I came off of it really surprised. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Is this album of the year? No, I can still see there's some songs that don't quite blow me away. It's like they're there and they're good. It's just doesn't really blow me away, but this is still good. I give it a good 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10, maybe even 8.5. It was a solid album.
Solid entry into the 2015 list of metal albums.
Yeah, I'm happy I listened to it, because unlike, when I used to do top 50 lists, I don't listen to everything that comes out. I don't listen to most things that come out. So you'll be really disappointed in me. I was at a used CD shop, and it came down to Toxic Holocaust or the new Unleashed. I had to go with Toxic Holocaust. Because I loved, because the used bookstore actually had a ton of like Japanese comic books and anime, and they actually had a really good CD selection. They had a lot of Cathedral and Toxic Holocaust and Dawn of the Nine by Unleashed. And I was like, oh, I want to buy this album. And then I'm like, ooh, Toxic Holocaust. Ooh, I have to set down this album. So I mean,
what do you
granted that.
So you and Jesse are taking the open spot next week. Yet another week of the Metal Hammer of Doom. This time, Robert Cooper and Jesse Starcher are playing their reindeer games without me. So what exactly are you guys going to be covering?
I should try to invite Sean. I think Sean would have a field day with this album. Just like I said last week, one of my favorite albums ever. Really, really important album to me personally. I adore it. That's Woods 5, Gray Skies and Electric Light by Woods of Dupree. It's like kind of a black doom, like a mix of black metal and doom metal, but definitely a lot more doom metal than their previous albums. It's just one of those, like I said, it's one of those albums that just on hard times I always go back to it. In good times I go back to it. I love it a lot. There's a lot to be said about it, like religion and the afterlife and just, like kind of like living in modern life and really good. And, well, the sad irony of the whole album is that the singer/drummer /bassist died in a car accident right before this was released. And he wrote all the lyrics. So there's songs about, like Finality is one of my favorite songs ever. It's actually kind of a little preview of how this is going to work here. It's like what that song's about is wanting to meet somebody in the afterlife. So your loved one died. You haven't gotten to spend your whole life with them, and how you're going to wait to meet them in the afterlife, but there isn't one. Yeah, it's one of those. It's a very deep, heavy album. I told Jesse, I'm like, I'm gonna have to review it with you. There's no way I can convince Mark to do this. Mark would probably fall asleep. Mark would pull a Black Sabbath, and he's like, I can't do it. 5 tracks in, nope, done. Like, it's not quite that level. It's not near that level of meandering with the music, but it's still one of those, like, just lyrically complex. There's songs, like I said, there's a lot of songs about religion, the afterlife, just, kind of, just a lot of personal stuff I really appreciate, especially, like, at this point in life, that kind of college experience of finding yourself. I find a lot of that in this album.
All right. Well, that's the end of our show. Let me go over quick what's going on with the calendar. For those of you who follow all of our great shows here on the Radulich Broadcasting Network, this is, of course, Ant-Man week, and we reviewed Ant-Man yesterday, the movie. Robert Winfrey and I actually had one of our more civil, but definitely this was the movie that we probably disagreed on the most out of all the ones we reviewed this summer. We both liked it, but we just saw different things in the movie, and we had a really good discussion about it. So that's in the archives. He's doing an Ant-Man theme podcast tomorrow night on Everyone Loves the Bad Guy. Jesse Starcher did some Ant-Man stuff on his podcast, Source Material. Decidedly not Ant-Man related was our Tuesday night podcast, part 3 of Orange is the New Black Season 3. We looked at episodes 7, 8, and 9. So that's all in the archives. Next week is not themed. We will be, on Tuesday is the last episode of the Orange is the New Black review. We'll be looking at the last 4 episodes, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I believe is what we're doing. Wednesday, we'll be reviewing Pixels, and Robert Winfrey will be on Suicide Watch.
God, have you seen the reviews for that movie so far?
20% Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's probably Adam Sandler's best reviewed movie in years, though.
Probably. That's not saying much. I don't know. My kid thought it looked good, so my 4-year-old, so we'll see what she thinks. In any case, moving on. On Thursday, as we just discussed, Robert Cooper and Jesse Starcher will be taking over the Metal Hammer of Doom and reviewing what Robert just said.
What's the Dupree?
Jermaine Dupri,
yeah.
Got it.
Closer. Same thing.
so tune in for their review of Jermaine Dupri. On Friday, Everyone Loves
Rene
Bad Guy.
Dupree.
And I was going to see Mission Impossible. Just what we're doing on Thursdays over the next couple of weeks. We'll be reviewing the new Lamb of God, which I believe comes out this week. We'll be reviewing it on August 6th. On August 13th, I actually won't be around again. I will be at Full Sail University at an NXT live taping. Yes, so I'll be one of the douchebags chanting in the audience that they have to then edit out. So if Robert Cooper and Jesse Starcher want to take that date and do something with it, it'll be open.
Oh, boys, and then we can do Throw Some Blood.
All right. And then, as I said, on August 20th is NWA week. August 19th, we'll be reviewing Straight Outta Compton, and then the movie, and then on the 20th, we'll be reviewing Straight Outta Compton, the album. And then finally, on August 27th, the Long Road to Ruin will finally be back, and we will finally be reviewing the last 2 Jack Ryan movies, Sum of All Fears and Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. Metal Hammer will be back September 3rd. We'll be reviewing the new Five Finger Death Punch. On the 10th, shut up. On the 10th, we'll be reviewing the new Long Road to Ruin. We'll be looking at the Darkman trilogy, and I believe somewhere in there is Slayer and I think Clutch. So somewhere in there, I got to work on the schedule a little bit more. But but I figured that takes us into September, and that's all you need to know for now. So that's what we got lining up. Besides that, you got anything else? Have you been doing any other podcasts? Have you been cheating on me, Robert Cooper?
Actually, I wasn't cheating on you because it was about 1 a.m. to Wednesday morning, technically, and Sean's like, hey, want to do a podcast? I'm like, sorry, Sean, I'm really sleepy. He goes, me too. I don't think I want to do it. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead anyways, because there wasn't any news, and I hadn't played any games. So I was like, But yeah, check out on Spreaker.com, the Wrestling to the Max page. I'm pretty sure that's where you'll find the Cooperative Multiplayer Podcast, which is John Garmer and Mark Morrison, and I occasionally show up. I used to be a regular member until, well, I had to work for a living. Not for a living. I worked to pay off my student loans. Only 10,000 to go. God damn it. But, there's that. Actually, also check out, I think actually every day Sean's doing a G1 Climax review, because New Japan every year, I don't know if I told you about this, Mr. Mark Radulich, they have kind of like their own World Cup, the G1 Climax, and this year it's like over about 30 days, it's 20 dates, And there's 2 blocks of wrestlers, and they'll wrestle each other for points. And then the wrestler who wins at Block A and Block B wrestles for a chance to wrestle the champion at Wrestle Kingdom, which is their WrestleMania. The thing I like that they do is you have to face somebody for the opportunity to keep that sometime in between the tournament finals and the Wrestle Kingdom. I think it's cool. I think it's nice that you have to defend your title shot at least once. It's different. But yeah, he's been reviewing it every day. He did one Tuesday morning, or technically Monday night. He did one this afternoon for day 2. He'll probably do one tomorrow for day 3. So yeah, just look into that, the Wrestling to the Max page on Spreaker.com. It'd be really cool. Sean's like a really great guy. He's been on here once or twice. He's my brother. He's another brother from another mother. I have a lot of those. But I feel like me and my best friend, who my stepdad's like, "Are you two gay?" And his girlfriend's like, "Hey, you two can go get married." I'm like, "All right, Skyler." Thanks.
You know what?
Yeah,
sooner than later, polygamy may be married, and then you can all marry each other.
Hey, there we go. That'll be a nice, interesting party. Even though I'll probably have to sleep on the floor every night, it wouldn't be too weird, I guess. There's that.
The way things are going, polygamy may be the only way people can actually afford to move out of their parents' home.
God, you know what always makes me laugh? People get married and then stay with somebody's parents.
Yeah,
that always makes me giggle. That makes me giggle.
Yes.
It is,
right.
That is. But yeah, final plug, Sentai Rider Podcast, Facebook.com/Sentai Rider Podcast. That is SENTAIRDR Podcast. I'm 4 episodes from being caught up on one show, 10 on another, and 20 on another. I'm getting there. Slowly, I'm getting there.
When was the last time you actually did a Sentai Rider podcast?
October. And you know what's the weirdest part? We've gotten like 3 likes over the past month, which is, I'm like, huh? Ow.
Well, now you have to add the game show where the bear attacks people in a box to your Sentai Rider podcast.
Yes, we will make an hour-long review of that 45-minute clip. That'll be the equivalent of the first UFC on Fox. You remember that? Where it was 45 minutes to lead up to that Velasquez dos Santos match, and it was done in 45 seconds.
Yeah, that was what is it when you blow your load before anything really starts?
Ejaculation.
Premature
ejaculation.
That was the fighter equivalent of premature ejaculation. And on that note, for Mr. Robert Cooper, I am your mandated reporter of the. I am the pantsless man of the pantsless clan, as Sean Comer calls me, and this has been the Metal Hammer of Doom presentation of Cradle of Filth, Hammer of the Witches. We'll be back. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Robert Cooper will be back in 1 week with Jesse Starcher. Until then, be well, be safe, and behave.